Hi, and welcome to Healthcare IT Today, where we explore the latest technology trends in health IT. I'm Colin Hung, and today I'm sitting down with Andy Tate, who's going to tell us a little bit about a very interesting project that they're working on in Kenya to improve the healthcare of communities. Andy, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Colin. Pleased to be here.
Yeah, I'm really excited to dive into this with you. So you were doing a project in Kenya where you're using some tools to really help improve the community health there. Can you maybe share a little bit more about what the work is?
Absolutely, Colin. So the project's actually beginning today. So this is a very timely conversation. So this is the introduction of a GIS tracking system for drug treatment for the neglected tropical disease Trachoma. Now, I guess some of your viewers may not be familiar with Trachoma, so I can give a short intro. So Trachoma is actually one of the world's oldest recorded diseases, and it's the world's leading infectious cause of blindness. Oh. So with Trachoma, it's caused by repeated bacterial infections, and it's spread through contact with flies and through with bedding and clothing and the hands of an infected person.
Okay.
So over time, with repeated infections, what trachoma will do is it will cause scarring to the inner eyelids such that the eyelid will turn inwards and the eyelashes will scrape the eyeball. And this form of advanced trachoma is called trichiasis. And over time, that degradation to the cornea will cause irreversible blindness if not treated. So trachoma is treated and managed through a strategy called SAFE, which stands for surgery, antibiotics, facial cleanliness, and environmental improvement. And this particular project is really related to the A of SAFE, so antibiotic treatment.
All right.
So every year in trachoma endemic countries, ministries of health conduct mass drug treatment campaigns in areas where the level of trachoma infectivity in a population is above a certain threshold. And these drug treatment campaigns are undertaken by community health volunteers, and we call them CDDs, which stands for Community Directed Distributors. And they're overseen their work by supervisors who are trained health professionals. Now in Kenya, we've been noticing some concerning trends of late. So we've got some areas where we're seeing, in the first instance, persistent trachoma. So trachoma where the level of infectivity has not reduced following multiple years of treatment, which one would expect, or recrudescent trachoma, where the level of trachoma infectivity in the population had reduced such that drug treatment was no longer required, but it has since actually begun to rise again. And we found this out through recent surveillance surveys. So there's something going on, and we need to basically take a deeper dive to understand and fight that.
So it sounds like to me, are you using GIS to identify hotspots and therefore identify areas where you can deploy the antibody treatments?
It's not quite like that. So the areas of interest in Kenya are basically nomadic or semi-nomadic or peri-urban. And historically, what we think happened is basically some of the prior treatment rounds have maybe not hit all the population groups that have been required to be treated, or maybe haven't evolved to account for, say, population movement or the expansion of urban areas into the peri-urban. So what we're looking to do with this project is basically maximize treatment coverage, so to treat everyone that needs to be treated. And there's going to be two aspects to this. So there's a GIS aspect and a non-GIS aspect. So the non-GIS aspect is a social media campaign.
Interesting, okay.
And that's going to be using local health influencers. The GIS component is a little different. So we are basically equipping the CDDs with mobile devices. Those mobile devices are loaded with two Esri apps, Esri Explorer and Esri Quick Capture. So they will use Esri Explorer to guide them to the communities and the household where treatment is needed.
Okay.
And they'll use Esri Quick Capture. So at each household, they will record whether drugs were delivered, if they were refused, or if no one was home. And then the supervisors will be able to, in real time, track the households, and they'll be able to direct CDDs to households which may have been missed or communities which may have been missed, thus ensuring that we achieve maximum treatment coverage.
Amazing, amazing. And what would the potential outcome be from this? Is it to show declines in the disease? Is it measured over a number of years, or is it fairly quick in terms of the results you're expecting?
So Immediate outcomes is we would hope to see high treatment coverage in the upcoming treatment round, which begins today. And the next treatment round, there's another one scheduled, I think December towards the end of the year.
Okay.
So that's the immediate outcomes. Ultimately, however, in time, we would want to see impact assessments show that level of trachoma infectivity decreasing, such that drug treatment will no longer be required. And then Kenya will be taking a step in that roadmap to the elimination of trachoma as a public health problem.
Interesting.
But that's a few years down.
It's a few years down the road. Take me back to the beginning a little bit. What sort of led you down the path of even looking at a GIS-based solution for this challenge that you were?
Okay, so Sightsavers has been a member of the Esri not-for-profit program for 10 years now.
Okay.
So we started very small, and we've kind of expanded over time, and we've now got a number of GIS staff working and GIS integrated into many projects. Now, one of these two of these have been projects related to the identification of nomadic camps through satellite imagery in Cameroon and Chad to make sure that no one has been left behind through those treatment campaigns. So this project was really taking the learnings and experience from those countries and applying it to a new context.
Amazing, amazing. What are some of the other things that you're working on with regards to either this particular program or other programs that you may be running related to GIS?
We have a few things in the works. So the Kenya program is actually not one that I'm directly involved with. My colleague runs that, and he's actually in Kenya this week supporting the rollout of the project. One of the areas in which I've been involved has been cost surface mapping. So I've been developing a project for the neglected tropical disease lymphatic filariasis. And what we're doing with that is we're looking at health facilities, surgical facilities that are equipped to provide interventions for hydrocele, which is one of the severe manifestations of lymphatic filariasis. And a hydrocele is essentially a scrotal swelling, and very painful and debilitating for those affected. And some 25 to 27 million men worldwide are living with a hydrocele, so it's a serious problem. So what we're looking to do with this particular project is to basically map the accessibility of facilities which can provide hydrocele surgery, starting with Nigeria.
Amazing. Wow, you've got a lot of interesting projects on the go. When we get together a year from now, what are we going to be talking about? Are we going to be talking about that project? Are we going to be talking about even more than that?
I guess related to trachoma, there are two things. So the first will be the Kenya project. So I would hope we see some excellent coverage results from the current round and the ongoing round, and that will kind of take Kenya forwards in its journey on the roadmap. On a bigger scale, lots of countries are making significant progress towards the elimination of trachoma as a public health problem.
Okay.
So early this year, in February, Togo became the third country in Africa to eliminate trachoma as a public health problem, following on from the Gambia and Ghana. And there are a couple of other countries which are really close. So I would hope that this time next year that we may have some good news from some other countries which have joined that club.
So Andy, you shared some amazing information with us today. Thank you so much. Where can people go to find out more information about the work you're doing?
Okay, so Colin, this Kenya project only really began today, so there's nothing really to share on that front at this moment, but we will in time write that up and make the learning publicly available. For anyone who's interested in our work, I'll suggest heading over to www.sightsavers.org. On there you can access papers and write-ups about the work in Cameroon, which was the precursor to the Kenya work. And there's also a really good field diary as well, which has some videos from our ground truthing teams in remote areas of Cameroon. So I would encourage viewers to check those out. We've also got an NTD open data portal. Head on there if you want to access some of our resources, some of our tools. It's a little bit dated. It's being refreshed over the summer, but there is there a library of GIS story maps. So if you do want to read a little bit more about trachoma or about some of the other neglected tropical diseases that we work on, check them out.
Amazing. Andy, you've shared some amazing information with us today. Thank you so much for being on our program.
My pleasure.
This has been Colin Hung with Healthcare IT Today. Thanks for joining us today. And if you liked this interview as much as I did, please like, subscribe, wherever you're listening and watching this program. Please also head on over to healthcareittoday.com where you'll get the latest news and insights from the world of health IT. Again, this has been Colin Hung. Thanks for being here.